Hi, welcome to SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. This is Into the Weekend with BetDSI, the call we do every week with Brent, the headlines manager at DSI Sportsbook. Today is Friday, the Friday right before Super Bowl Sunday, so we're going to find out all about the action that Brent has taken. We're going to find out about who he needs. We're going to find out about information on props. Brent, thanks for being back with us.
Good to be with you, Peter.
All right. The first thing I want to ask you about is that the total moved up, right? It was like 47 and a half earlier in the week. Now it's 48 or 48 and a half, and I'm assuming that that's because of the weather?
Yeah, I'm guessing that as well. I mean, as we touched on, there was a little bit of sharp money on the over 47. We talked about that on Monday, but there was more sharp money under the 48 and a half. I think almost everybody's 48, but there's a couple 48 and a half out there right now. We still need the over a little bit actually, but the sharp money that went under 48 and a half is kind of the money we're going to stick with. We've opened up the first half, so I took some sharp money on the under 24 even money as well. So I'm still kind of leaning in terms of if I was going to lean one way on purpose, it would be towards the under. But right now, we're probably going to end up balanced because you're going to see a lot of public guys are going to be betting the over, and right now we kind of need some over money.
So then moving your line up to 48 was not because you took big bets on the over. It was because the market overall moved, so you moved with it.
That was basically the market moving. Yeah, I mean, we're still probably going to get money on the over just because the public's going that way. Right. And again, like you touched on, the weather seems like it's not going to be an issue. So the general tendency is for people to be betting over with Denver. So we're fine with the move. I mean, we're obviously not going to stick around 47 and a half when the board's pretty much all 48 and 48 and a half. So there are some 48 and a half out there. I'm still using 48 though.
Let's just quickly talk about the side. The spread hasn't moved much at all. It's still Denver -2, a little bit juiced to the to the favorite line there. It's like 2.5 at some places. You said early on you took action, sharp action on Seattle. Has anything changed?
No, actually, I mean, anytime the line's gone up to like the money line plus 115 on Seattle, I saw even more money come back on Seattle. So the sharps are pretty clear in terms of in this house in terms of where they're going, and that's definitely with Seattle. My count is basically the same as we talked about on Monday, and basically everything in terms of the trends, they're all the same as we talked about on Monday. So through the week, it's still the same in that my count slightly favors Denver, my money slightly favors Denver, but the sharps are on Seattle. So we're pretty comfortable with that position.
So it sounds like you have a pretty solid sharp public split then on the side in this Super Bowl.
Yeah, so far we do. And like I said, we're probably going to get a lot more action. Well, obviously we're going to get a ton more action as we lead up to the kickoff. But again, anytime this number goes to 2.5, I expect to see sharp action on Seattle, and I don't see sharps laying 2.5 with Denver. That's for sure. So anything we go to 2.5, we'll be coming back with Seattle. So that probably will just balance back and forth. I do want to mention, Peter, that you asked about, in terms of limits and stuff like that for the Super Bowl, what we take. So far, the biggest bet we have was a single bet for Seattle on the money line plus 115 for 45,000. Wow. So, I mean, again, we talk about what our limits are. It's basically what a guy has in his account, and that was the biggest bet we've taken so far. I expect we'll probably take a couple more of that size before kickoff, though.
Right. And was that from a sharp account or just one of these big guys that's a square but kind of a big bet?
He's a guy who, if you look at his lifetime figure, he's probably around even. So he's kind of a guy who's not a square but not, super sharp. But hey, anytime you can tread water, you're doing all right.
But the guys who are super sharp have been coming in clearly on Seattle, right?
Yeah. So unfortunately, the biggest bet we took was with the sharp sides, yeah.
So is that normal for a Super Bowl? I mean, do you usually have one side that these sharp accounts are preferring, or for most Super Bowls, are they not taking a side at all?
It's all about the number. I mean, you can't say, typically do sharps come in on the Super Bowl on this, that, or the other thing. It all depends on the game and the number. What you'll find consistently is that sharps will pick off numbers on props where the public maybe is overvaluing certain things.
But suffice to say, between now and kickoff, you're not anticipating any sharp action at all coming in on Denver, right?
I would be surprised if it came in, yeah. Based on, like I said, there's about 10 guys who I keep an eye on in the store here, and the ones who have come in so far have all been on Seattle. So I'd be surprised if any sharps came in on Denver, just basically because anything I've had so far has been Seattle's way.